Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something. If you had just 3 minutes to stop something as deadly as a stroke from happening, would you take it seriously? Of course you would, because here's the truth: strokes don't always come with loud warning bells. They creep in quietly like a thief in the night. But today I want to share with you an incredible method straight from Japan's oldest practicing doctor that may literally save your brain and your life. It takes just 3 minutes, it costs nothing, and it's something anyone can do starting tonight. The idea that a simple 3-minute nightly routine could help prevent something as dangerous as a stroke may sound unbelievable at first, but this method comes straight from Japan's oldest practicing doctor, who spent over 7 decades studying the human body, aging, and longevity. He discovered that the key to protecting the brain and heart doesn't come from complicated treatments or expensive medications, but from restoring balance in the body's natural rhythm, especially before sleep. According to him, most people underestimate how crucial those few minutes before bedtime really are. During the day, we're constantly in motion, our circulation is active, and our heart rate adjusts to our movements. But at night, when we lie still for hours, our blood flow slows down, our pressure fluctuates, and our blood becomes slightly thicker due to dehydration. These subtle changes create the perfect storm for clots to form, which can block the delicate arteries that feed the brain, leading to a stroke. That's why this 3-minute nightly ritual matters. It helps reactivate healthy circulation and ensures the brain receives the oxygen and nutrients it needs through the night. The practice itself is simple yet deeply effective. It involves a series of gentle actions designed to improve blood flow, relax the nervous system, and stabilize blood pressure. In just 3 minutes, you're training your body to maintain smooth circulation even while you sleep. This technique is rooted in the Japanese philosophy of prevention rather than cure, focusing on keeping the body's river of life flowing freely. The doctor explained that if blood flow remains active and unblocked, disease has a harder time taking root. Modern studies now support his wisdom, showing that even small, mindful activities before bed can dramatically lower the risk of cardiovascular events. The breathing and movements in this method enhance oxygen delivery, improve vascular elasticity, and regulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which governs relaxation and healing. Another powerful part of this method is that it costs nothing and can be done by anyone, anywhere, at any age. It doesn't require equipment, physical strength, or long training sessions. All it needs is consistency. The doctor observed that his oldest and healthiest patients, many of whom lived past 90 and even 100, had one thing in common: they never skipped their nightly routine. They understood that these 3 minutes were not just a habit, but a form of self-care, a way to prepare the body for deep rest and renewal. This tiny commitment signals the body to stay alert to internal balance, ensuring smoother blood flow to vital organs, especially the brain. It's a moment of connection between mind and body, allowing both to reset after a day of stress, tension, and fatigue. Over time, this small act becomes a shield against one of the most silent and devastating conditions. It's a daily reminder that powerful healing often begins with the simplest of actions: a few minutes, a calm breath, and the intention to keep your life's energy moving freely. The 3-minute routine recommended by Japan's oldest doctor may appear simple on the surface, but each step has a purpose deeply rooted in how the human body naturally maintains circulation and balance. The doctor designed it around 3 easy movements that anyone can perform, regardless of age or fitness level, to activate the body's internal systems before rest. The first step involves deep, rhythmic breathing, slowly inhaling through the nose for 4 seconds, holding for 2 seconds, and then exhaling gently through the mouth for 6 seconds. This breathing rhythm might seem basic, yet it triggers profound physiological changes. It tells the nervous system to shift from stress mode into relaxation mode, helping blood vessels widen and the heart rate slow. When we exhale longer than we inhale, it stimulates the vagus nerve, which plays a critical role in calming the cardiovascular system. In just 1 minute of focused breathing, the body begins to unwind, the muscles loosen, and the blood starts flowing more smoothly through every artery and capillary. The second part of the routine focuses on movement, gentle wrist and ankle rotations. These simple circular motions stimulate microcirculation, the flow of blood through the body's smallest vessels. As we age, these tiny capillaries often become sluggish or constricted, cutting off oxygen to cells and tissues. By rotating the wrists and ankles, the doctor explained, you're not just stretching muscles, you're sending a signal to these vessels to stay active. The rhythmic motion enhances the return of blood from the limbs to the heart, preventing stagnation and keeping oxygen and nutrients moving through the entire system. This also helps reduce swelling in the hands and feet, relaxes joints, and maintains flexibility. Even though it takes only a minute, it sets off a chain reaction that improves overall circulation, especially when practiced before long hours of sleep when the body is most still. The final step is gentle tapping of the body, using the fingertips to lightly tap along the arms, chest, and legs. This technique might seem unusual, but it's backed by both traditional Japanese medicine and modern science. Tapping awakens nerve endings and activates the release of nitric oxide, a molecule known as the body's natural vasodilator. Nitric oxide relaxes and expands blood vessels, allowing blood to flow more freely and efficiently. It also improves communication between cells and boosts oxygen transport throughout the body. This light stimulation helps maintain the elasticity of arteries, supports brain function, and lowers the risk of nighttime blood pressure spikes. Together, the breathing, movement, and tapping create a synchronized rhythm that harmonizes the body. Each step complements the other. The breath calms the heart, the rotations move the blood, and the tapping energizes the vessels. In just 3 minutes, this sequence restores balance between relaxation and circulation, preparing the body for deep, restorative sleep while protecting it from the silent dangers of blood stagnation that can lead to a stroke. Most people don't realize that the majority of strokes don't happen during the day when they're active. They occur silently at night or early in the morning, often when the body is in its deepest rest. This timing is not a coincidence. It's a reflection of how blood flow and pressure change while we sleep. Japan's oldest doctor observed that the body's circulation naturally slows down at night because we're lying still for hours, our heart rate decreases, and we lose some body fluids through breathing and sweating, which makes our blood slightly thicker. When this thicker blood moves sluggishly through stiff or narrowed arteries, especially in older adults, it increases the risk of a clot forming. If that clot travels to the brain, it can block oxygen supply and cause a stroke. This is why so many people experience sudden paralysis or speech loss right after waking up. The damage began quietly in the night. The doctor's insight was that this period of stillness before and during sleep is the most critical window for prevention, and the way to protect yourself is by getting your blood moving before you rest. The 3-minute practice he taught was designed precisely for this reason, to counteract nighttime stagnation and maintain steady blood flow while you sleep. When you engage in slow breathing, gentle joint movements, and light tapping before bed, you're essentially preparing your circulatory system for the long hours of inactivity that follow. The breathing lowers tension in the blood vessels, the movements activate circulation from the limbs back to the heart, and the tapping opens up the smallest pathways of flow. Together, these actions help ensure that blood doesn't pool or thicken overnight. It's like keeping a river from becoming still by moving the water before it freezes. The goal is not heavy exercise or strain, but subtle rhythmic stimulation that tells your body to stay balanced. The doctor emphasized that people often underestimate how fragile nighttime circulation can be, especially in those with high blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol buildup. When the body is at rest, the autonomic nervous system, which controls involuntary functions, becomes dominant. However, if stress, anxiety, or physical stiffness interfere, it can cause uneven blood pressure shifts during sleep. That's when small clots can form unnoticed. By doing this simple 3-minute trick, you stabilize your nervous system, regulate your breathing, and maintain smoother blood flow all night. He described it as setting your internal clock for healing. When the body enters sleep in a calm, oxygen-rich state, the blood moves freely through even the narrowest vessels in the brain. This is what protects against the sudden spikes and drops that trigger strokes during the early hours. The beauty of this method lies in its simplicity: no equipment, no cost, just awareness and gentle motion. It prepares your heart, arteries, and brain for the safest kind of rest, ensuring that when morning comes, your body wakes up strong, clear, and protected. One of the most powerful lessons from Japan's oldest doctor is that true protection from disease doesn't come from drastic actions or one-time efforts, but from small, consistent habits that become part of daily life. He believed that longevity is built minute by minute through simple acts that support the body's natural balance. The 3-minute trick to prevent strokes is a perfect example of this philosophy. It doesn't require expensive treatments, supplements, or devices. It requires consistency, patience, and mindfulness. When small routines are repeated daily, they reshape how the body functions. The circulatory system becomes more resilient, the nervous system calms more easily, and the body learns to maintain balance even under stress. This gradual strengthening is what protects people from sudden health events like strokes. The doctor noticed that his healthiest and longest-living patients were not those who did extreme diets or intense workouts, but those who built quiet, meaningful routines into their everyday life. They understood that prevention is not about reacting when something goes wrong. It's about making sure things don't go wrong in the first place. The doctor taught that the body is like a garden that must be tended to gently every day. If you water it too much or too little, it struggles, but if you care for it regularly, it thrives naturally. The 3-minute nightly practice is one of those acts of care. By doing it daily, you keep your blood vessels flexible, your breathing smooth, and your circulation alive even as you age. Each repetition reinforces the body's natural rhythm, much like training a muscle to stay strong. Over time, this daily rhythm of relaxation before sleep conditions the body to enter rest with a stable heartbeat and steady blood flow. The brain receives more oxygen overnight, and the blood pressure remains balanced instead of spiking unpredictably. These small adjustments accumulate quietly, building a foundation of health that may not feel dramatic day by day but becomes powerful over years. Another key insight from the doctor's teaching is that small habits are sustainable. Big, complicated routines often fail because they demand too much time or energy, but when something takes only a few minutes, it's easy to maintain for life. The doctor always said that the secret to long life is not willpower but rhythm. A small action done every day becomes instinct, and instinct is what keeps you healthy without effort. Even if you feel tired, you can still find 3 minutes before bed to breathe slowly, move gently, and awaken your circulation. The consistency of this habit keeps your internal systems trained to function smoothly. Over time, this constancy acts as a silent guardian, preventing stiffness, blood stagnation, and vessel damage that accumulate quietly with age. This is why small habits hold such incredible power. They are simple enough to be repeated for decades and strong enough to build lifelong protection against diseases that strike when we least expect them. Japan's oldest doctor often said that the condition of your mind directly shapes the condition of your blood vessels. He believed that a peaceful mind creates peaceful blood flow, while emotional tension constricts the body's inner pathways. His teachings revealed that prevention is not only physical but deeply emotional. When a person ends their day filled with worry, anger, or stress, the body remains on high alert even during sleep. The heart beats faster, blood pressure rises, and arteries tighten without us realizing it. This constant state of inner tension weakens circulation and increases the risk of clots forming overnight. That is why he placed so much emphasis on the mindset behind his 3-minute routine. The practice isn't only about breathing and movement, it's about creating emotional calm. As you slow your breath and move gently, the body's stress hormones begin to decrease. Cortisol levels drop, and the parasympathetic nervous system takes over, guiding the body into a healing state. This calmness is what allows blood to flow smoothly, the heart to beat rhythmically, and the brain to receive steady oxygen through the night. The doctor also believed that gratitude is one of the most powerful medicines for the heart. He encouraged his patients to reflect on small moments of appreciation each night before sleeping. It could be something simple, a good meal, a kind word, a quiet sunset. This emotional shift triggers the release of serotonin and oxytocin, hormones that help lower blood pressure and relax the cardiovascular system. Modern research now supports what he taught decades ago. Practicing gratitude regularly improves heart health, reduces stress-induced inflammation, and strengthens emotional resilience. When you combine gratitude with the 3-minute circulation technique, it creates a powerful synergy. The mind relaxes, the heart softens, and the blood vessels open. It transforms the routine from a physical habit into a holistic ritual that nourishes both body and spirit. This connection between mind and body is what many people overlook in modern health practices. Physical wellness cannot exist without emotional balance. When a person carries anxiety or resentment, the body mirrors those emotions through tension, stiffness, and disrupted circulation. But when the mind is calm, the body follows. That's why this Japanese doctor always said, "A calm heart keeps the blood alive." The act of slowing down, breathing deeply, and focusing on appreciation reprograms the brain's stress response. It teaches the body that it is safe to relax, and in that safety, healing happens naturally. Over time, people who adopt this nightly mindset notice that they wake up lighter with more energy and mental clarity. Their sleep deepens, their morning heart rate steadies, and they feel emotionally grounded. The doctor's approach shows that health is not built in the gym or the pharmacy alone. It begins in the quiet space between thoughts, in those last few moments before sleep when you choose peace over pressure, gratitude over worry, and calmness over chaos.